Today, we're jumping into Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. Now, this is a book that's famous for completely changing how people see their own lives. We're going to break down the biggest ideas, the ones that really stick with you right here, right now. So, Eckhart Tolle's whole journey, his big awakening, it all started with this one single, desperate thought that just kept looping in his mind. And it's a feeling I think a lot of us can relate to, right? That deep internal battle that just feels impossible. But then, out of that thought came this incredible moment of clarity. He thought, wait a minute, if I cannot live with myself, then there must be two of me. So, who's the real me? That one question just blows the doors open on this whole illusion of the self and sets the stage for everything we're about to get into. All right, Section 1, the tyranny of the mind. See, according to Tolle, the real source of our unhappiness isn't what's happening around us. It's something much, much closer. That constant, nonstop voice chattering away inside our own heads. So who is this self that we can't stand to live with? Tolle has a name for it: the ego. And listen, this isn't the real you. It's more like a phantom identity that's been built up piece by piece from your thoughts, your memories, your past. It's a ghost in the machine that we've mistaken for the driver. And this ego, it has a sidekick, a powerful one: the pain body. Just imagine every bit of emotional pain you've ever had: sadness, anger, grief, leaving behind a little bit of residue. Well, over a lifetime, all that residue clumps together to form this dark energy field inside you. It's like this invisible entity that actually feeds on negativity and drama to stay alive. And this is the ego's main trick. It completely ignores the only thing that's real, which is the present moment. It's always dragging you back to the past to define who you are, or it's pushing you into the future, looking for some kind of salvation there. The result, you're never actually here. This brings us to a really important distinction Tolle makes. He says there are two kinds of time. You've got clock time, which is totally fine. You need it for appointments, for setting goals. But then there's psychological time. And that's the heavy, heavy burden of all your past regrets and all your future anxieties. Tolle doesn't mince words. He basically calls this a mental disease. And he says it's the root of almost all our suffering. So, if the mind's addiction to psychological time is the prison, what's the key to getting out? Well, that leads us right into Section 2, the liberation of now. For hundreds of years, our whole way of thinking in the West has been built on this famous line from the philosopher René Descartes. We've been taught, almost from birth, that our ability to think is what makes us us. It's the proof that we exist. But Tolle comes along and says, hold on, that idea is actually the single biggest mistake the human mind has ever made. Here's the bombshell insight. You are not your thoughts. We have accidentally identified ourselves with the constant chatter in our heads, and that is what keeps us trapped. Okay, so if we aren't our thoughts, then who are we? Well, we are being. It's your deepest self, your core essence. It's that quiet, still, aware presence that's underneath all the mental noise. It's the feeling of I am before your mind jumps in and adds a label like a success or a failure. And the actual act of connecting with that deeper reality, that's what Tolle calls presence. It's really just the state of being aware of being. It's like waking up from the dream of constant thinking and taking your awareness back from the mind that's been holding it hostage. Now, this might all sound a little abstract, but the ways to actually do it are incredibly practical and down to earth. So, how do we get there? That's what we're going to cover in Section 3, How to Access Presence. Tolle is crystal clear about this. He says the single most important step you can take on this journey is to learn to disidentify from your mind. All that means is realizing that the voice in your head isn't actually you. It's just a program, a conditioned pattern of thought that's been running on its own for years. And here's how you do it. He calls it watching the thinker. You just start listening to that voice in your head. Behave like you're listening to somebody else's voice. Don't judge it, don't analyze it, just listen. And pretty soon you'll have this aha moment where you realize, oh, there's the voice, and here I am listening to it. In that gap, you understand you are not the thought. You are the awareness behind it. Now, watching the thinker is just one way in. Tolle talks about several other portals into the now. You can find it by just feeling the energy, the aliveness inside your body, under your skin. You can get there through total surrender by just stopping the fight with what is. He even says that deep silence and the empty space between things can be doorways into that state of presence.
So what happens? What's the payoff when you actually start living from this place of presence more and more? Well, the result is so huge, it gets its own final section, the end of suffering.
Tolle often brings up this beautiful, simple definition from the Buddha. You see, enlightenment isn't about becoming some kind of superhuman or levitating. It's much simpler. It's just the end of self-created suffering. It's the end of the pain you cause yourself by resisting the present moment.
And living this way completely changes the quality of your life. See, the ego is always chasing pleasure, but pleasure comes from things outside of you, and it's always temporary. It's part of a cycle. But when you connect with being, what arises is joy. And joy comes from within. It doesn't need a reason, it has no opposites, and it's a deep, abiding peace.
And really, this is the ultimate promise of the power of now. Salvation isn't some reward you get in the future. It's a state of freedom that's available to you right here, right now. It's freedom from fear, freedom from suffering, freedom from that nonstop thinking, and from that heavy psychological weight of the past and future.
Which brings us to this powerful Zen question that just perfectly sums up Tolle's entire message. All you ever truly have is this one moment. The past is just a memory. The future is just a story we tell ourselves. The only point of power, the only place where life actually happens is now. So, if not now, when?